Hey guys, tonight we are going to immerse ourselves in the surprisingly soothing world of the Ottoman Empire's bathhouse etiquette. Imagine, if you will, the gentle steam curling around ancient marble, the distant murmur of voices, and the soft splash of water. You are stepping back in time, not to a battlefield or a grand palace, but to a place of communal cleansing and quiet contemplation. This is a journey into the everyday rhythms of a bygone era, where hygiene was an art form and relaxation a civic duty. You probably won't survive this level of historical relaxation without drifting off. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Tell me in the comments where you are listening from and what time it is for you. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You are standing at the entrance of a grand hammam, the air thick with the scent of rosewater and a hint of something earthy, perhaps a special soap. The architectural details are stunning, intricate tile work adorning the walls, arched doorways leading to unseen chambers. You feel a sense of anticipation, a gentle hum of activity emanating from within. This isn't just a place to get clean, it's a social hub, a place for gossip, for business, for quiet reflection. The sun, a warm Ottoman sun, streams through small glass domes in the ceiling, casting dappled light onto the polished stone floor. You notice a low bench near the entrance where a man is collecting a small fee, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he greets you with a silent nod. There's a certain gravitas to his presence, a quiet authority that assures you this is a place of order, an established custom. You hand over a few coins and he gestures towards a changing room, a simple alcove with wooden lockers. You begin to shed your outer garments, feeling the weight of the day slowly lift from your shoulders. It's almost a ritual in itself, this shedding of the outside world, preparing yourself for the inner sanctum. You wrap a pestimel, a thin cotton towel, around your waist and another over your shoulders. It feels surprisingly light and comfortable. A mainstream historical fact about these places is that Ottoman bathhouses were not just about personal hygiene, they were integral to the social fabric, providing a space for both men and women to gather separately, of course, and unwind. It was a democratic space in a way, where social distinctions blurred beneath the steam and suds. A quirky tidbit I recently learned is that some bathhouses employed professional ear cleaners who would meticulously clean your ears with specialized instruments. Can you imagine that, a designated ear cleaner? It makes you wonder what other niche services were available back then. Historians still argue whether the elaborate design of some hammams was primarily for aesthetic pleasure, or if the specific shapes and sizes of the domes and arches had some acoustic or therapeutic purpose. Was it just beautiful, or was it built to amplify the relaxing sounds of splashing water and gentle chatter? You might be thinking that a public bath sounds a bit, well, unhygienic by modern standards, but trust me, they had systems in place. Water was constantly flowing fresh and hot, heated by a large furnace beneath the floor. It was a marvel of ancient plumbing and engineering. You can hear the distant murmur of conversations and the gentle sloshing of water, a symphony of relaxation. The air is warm and moist, not stifling but comforting. It's a completely different experience than a modern shower or even a luxurious spa. This is about community and tradition. You walk barefoot across the warm marble floor, the stones surprisingly smooth and pleasant beneath your soles. The light is diffused, creating a soft glow throughout the space. You notice others around you, some already deep in conversation, some simply sitting quietly, eyes closed, embracing the warmth. There's a sense of shared experience, a quiet camaraderie that is quite unique. You feel yourself unwinding even before you've entered the main bathing area. The transition from the bustling outside world to this tranquil haven is immediate and profound. It's as if the very air inside the hammam holds a different vibration, a lower, more peaceful frequency. You notice an attendant moving quietly among the bathers, offering small cups of sherbet, a sweet, refreshing drink. It's these little touches, these thoughtful gestures, that elevate the experience beyond mere cleansing. You take a sip, and the cool sweetness is a welcome contrast to the warmth of the air. It's a moment of pure bliss, a tiny island of indulgence. You wonder what kind of stories these walls could tell, if they could speak the whispered secrets, the joyful laughter, the quiet sighs of contentment. Every stone, every tile holds centuries of human experience. You are not just visiting a historical site, you are stepping into a living, breathing tradition that has endured for generations. The gentle steam seems to carry with it the echoes of countless conversations, the dreams and worries of people long past. It's a humbling thought, yet also deeply comforting. You realize that despite the passage of time, the fundamental human need for connection, for relaxation, for a moment of peace remains unchanged. And in this ancient bathhouse, you find a powerful connection to those who came before you, a silent understanding across the centuries. It makes you realize that maybe all those hot yoga studios are just trying to recreate a fraction of this ancient magic. You chuckle to yourself, imagining someone trying to do a downward dog on this slippery marble. No, this is a place for stillness, for quietude, not contortions. You move deeper into the hammam, following the gentle sound of flowing water. The main chamber, the kamkan, is a large, open space, bathed in soft, diffused light from the high domes. The air is heavier here, thick with steam, and the marble benches around the perimeter are invitingly warm. You notice a fountain bubbling softly in the center, its gentle murmur adding to the overall sense of tranquility. The heat is enveloping, a comforting blanket that seeps into your bones, easing any lingering tension in your muscles. It's not an oppressive heat, but a therapeutic warmth that encourages your pores to open, preparing your skin for the cleansing to come. You see people reclining on the marble, some with their eyes closed, others engaged in low murmurs of conversation. There's a quiet respect for the shared space, a sense of collective relaxation. You find an empty spot on a warm marble slab, called a gobek tassi, or navel stone, positioned directly over the heat source. This is the heart of the hammam, where the heat is most intense, designed to induce a deep sweat and relax the body. You lie down, feeling the solid warmth seep into your back, and let out a contented sigh. The marble is surprisingly comfortable, contoured to your body. You close your eyes, and the sounds of the hammam become more pronounced, the soft drips of water, the occasional clinking of a metal bowl, the low hum of voices. It's a symphony of subtle sounds, each contributing to the overall sense of peace. A mainstream historical fact about these gobek tassi is that they were not just for relaxing. They were crucial for preparing the body for exfoliation. The intense heat would open the pores, making it easier to remove dead skin cells. It's a meticulous process, a genuine commitment to cleanliness that goes beyond a quick scrub. A quirky tidbit is that some people believe the gobek tassi had mystical properties, and that lying on it could cure various ailments or even bring good fortune. I mean, who wouldn't want a bit of good fortune with their sweat session, right? Historians still argue whether the gobek tassi was primarily a practical tool for cleansing, or if its central placement, an almost altar-like appearance, held deeper spiritual significance for the bathers. Was it just a hot slab, or was it a place of quiet reverence? You might be thinking, sweating on a hot stone with strangers. No thanks, but honestly, it's far less awkward than you'd imagine. Everyone is there for the same purpose: relaxation and cleanliness. There's no judgment, just a shared experience of comfort. You feel the sweat beginning to bead on your skin, a gentle trickle that signifies the cleansing process has begun. It's a satisfying feeling, a tangible sign that your body is letting go of impurities. The steam feels almost palpable, a soft caress against your skin. You drift for a while, lost in the warmth and the gentle hum of the hammam. Your thoughts become a little hazy, a little dreamy. It's almost like a form of meditation. The stress of the outside world feels incredibly distant, a faint echo from another reality. You are fully present in this moment, in this space. You might even find yourself smiling faintly, a spontaneous expression of contentment. The air itself feels purifying, every breath a gentle cleanse for your lungs. It's a holistic experience, affecting not just your body but your mind and spirit as well. You recall that crocodile dung sunscreen from another story, and you're infinitely grateful this particular beauty ritual doesn't involve anything quite so exotic. No offense to ancient Egyptians, but marble and steam is definitely more my speed. You hear the soft swish of an attendant approaching, carrying a metal bowl and a loofah. This is the next stage of your journey, the exfoliation. You mentally prepare yourself for the invigorating scrub. It's all part of the process, a necessary step towards ultimate cleanliness. And honestly, after this much relaxation, you're ready for whatever comes next. The attendant offers a quiet smile, a silent invitation to continue your journey into Ottoman cleanliness. You feel a deep sense of trust in this age-old ritual, a quiet surrender to the traditions of the hammam. You know that by the time you leave here, you will feel reborn. The attendant, a gentle person with strong, capable hands, begins the kiss ritual, the vigorous exfoliation that is a cornerstone of the hammam experience. They dip a coarse, woven mitt called a kiss into warm water, and then, with surprising strength and precision, begin to scrub your skin. It's an invigorating sensation, initially feeling a little rough, but quickly becoming surprisingly satisfying. You can feel layers of dead skin rolling off, a visible testament to the deep cleansing taking place. It's not painful, just incredibly thorough. You lie still, allowing the attendant to work, surrendering to the process. The rhythmic motion of the scrubbing, combined with the warmth of the steam, creates a hypnotic effect. You feel your circulation improving, a tingling sensation across your body as the blood rushes closer to the surface. It's a strange but wonderful feeling, a renewal of your very outer layer. A mainstream historical fact is that the kiss was made from various natural fibers, often goat hair or loofah, and was designed to be abrasive enough to remove dead skin cells without damaging the living tissue. It was a sophisticated tool for its time, predating modern exfoliating scrubs by centuries. A quirky tidbit I discovered is that some attendants would sing low, soothing chants or hum quietly while performing the kiss, believing it enhanced the relaxation and purification process for the bather. Imagine that, a personalized lullaby with your scrub. Historians still argue whether the intensity of the kiss ritual was purely for hygiene, or if there was an underlying belief that it also scrubbed away negative energy or spiritual impurities. Was it just about clean skin, or was it something more profound? You might find yourself giggling inwardly at the sheer thoroughness of it all. It's like a car wash for your body, but with significantly more finesse and a much better soundtrack of gentle splashes. No rotating brushes here, just skilled hands. You realize how rarely you truly dedicate this much time and attention to simply being clean. Modern life is all about speed and efficiency, but here, time stretches out, allowing for a deep, unhurried purification. The attendant moves with practiced ease, turning you gently, ensuring every inch of your skin receives the thorough cleansing. You feel completely exposed yet utterly comfortable, a strange paradox of vulnerability and security. The steam continues to embrace you, carrying away the tiny flakes of skin that are being removed, a silent testament to the efficacy of the case. You begin to feel incredibly light, as if a physical burden is being lifted. Your skin, which initially felt rough under the mitt, now begins to feel incredibly smooth and soft. It's a dramatic transformation, a feeling of newness. You remember the feeling of shedding old habits or outdated beliefs, and this physical shedding of skin feels remarkably similar, a tangible representation of letting go. It's almost spiritual, this deep cleansing. You can practically hear your skin sighing in relief. And let's be honest, after a long day of, well, existing, this is exactly what your skin needs. Far better than some fancy chemical peel with ingredients you can't pronounce. This is natural, ancient, and deeply effective. The attendant finishes with a final, gentle rinse of warm water, washing away any lingering traces of the exfoliation. You open your eyes, and the world seems a little clearer, a little brighter. You feel genuinely refreshed, your body tingling with renewed energy. You're ready for the next stage of this delightful journey into Ottoman relaxation. The air around you feels cleaner, too, somehow. It's a truly transformative experience, leaving you feeling not just clean, but utterly renewed, ready for whatever the next moment holds. After the invigorating kiss ritual, you are guided to a private washing area, a small, secluded alcove within the larger hammam, still enveloped by the comforting steam. Here, the attendant prepares a bowl of warm, fragrant soapy water, often infused with natural essences like olive oil or floral extracts. The soap itself is usually a traditional, artisanal variety, perhaps made with laurel or Aleppo soap, known for its gentle cleansing properties. You recline on a warm marble bench, and the attendant begins the gentle washing phase. This is a stark contrast to the vigorous scrubbing of the kiss. This stage is all about luxuriating in the sensation of clean, warm water and soft lather. The attendant pours warm water over your body with a metal bowl, a continuous, soothing stream that rinses away any remaining dead skin cells and prepares your skin for the soap. The feeling is incredibly calming, the sound of the water a gentle lullaby. Then, with a soft, natural sponge or a cloth, they apply the rich, creamy lather to your entire body, working it into your skin with gentle, circular motions. The scent of the soap is subtle and pleasant, not overpowering, adding to the overall sensory experience. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman soaps were highly valued for their purity and natural ingredients, often exported across the Mediterranean. They were a testament to the sophisticated understanding of hygiene and skin care prevalent in the empire. A quirky tidbit I once read was that some bathers would bring their own special heirloom soaps passed down through generations, believing they had unique properties or brought good luck. Can you imagine bringing your great-great-great-grandma's soap to the hammam? Historians still argue whether the extensive use of natural oils and plant extracts in Ottoman soaps was purely for their cleansing and moisturizing properties, or if there was a deeper belief in their holistic or even spiritual benefits. Was it just soap, or was it also medicine for the soul? You might feel like a pampered prince or princess, and honestly, you deserve it. This isn't just a wash. It's an act of profound self-care, a moment of complete surrender to the hands of another. The attendant's touch is respectful and professional, yet also imbued with a certain gentleness that speaks of centuries of tradition. You close your eyes again, letting the warm water and soft lather envelop you. The steam feels even more comforting now, as your skin is clean and open. Every pour of water, every stroke of the sponge, feels like a blessing. You realize how much we rush through our daily routines, often treating personal hygiene as a chore rather than an opportunity for mindful relaxation. The hammam forces you to slow down, to be present in the moment. It's a wonderful antidote to the frantic pace of modern life. You recall that feeling of shedding layers from the key stage, and this washing feels like solidifying that newness, sealing in the freshness. You are truly being reborn, one gentle pour at a time. It's a profound sense of peace. You can practically hear your skin thanking you. And honestly, this is way better than trying to exfoliate in your shower with a tiny washcloth. This is the real deal. The attendant concludes the washing with a final, generous rinse, ensuring all traces of soap are removed. You emerge from this stage feeling incredibly clean, your skin soft and supple, a sensation of lightness permeating your entire being. You are ready for the next step, a feeling of deep satisfaction settling over you. With your skin feeling incredibly soft and deeply cleansed from the washing ritual, the attendant now offers a traditional hair wash. This isn't your quick shampoo in the shower. It's a deliberate, soothing process. You recline comfortably, perhaps on a lower marble bench, and the attendant gently guides your head over a small basin. They begin by pouring warm water over your hair, saturating it completely. The warm flow a comforting sensation against your scalp. Then, they apply a generous amount of hair soap, often a natural, unscented variety, or one subtly fragranced with herbal extracts. The lather is rich and abundant, and the attendant works it through your hair with their fingertips, providing a gentle yet thorough scalp massage. This massage is a key part of the experience, designed to stimulate circulation, release tension, and induce further relaxation. You can feel the stress melting away from your temples and neck. A mainstream historical fact is that hair washing in Ottoman hammams often involved traditional ingredients like saponins from soapwort or shikakai. Known for their natural cleansing and conditioning properties, long before chemical shampoos became commonplace. A quirky tidbit I stumbled upon is that some affluent bathers would have their hair washed with special floral waters, or even infused with rare oils, not just for cleanliness but for their perceived beauty and alluring scents. Imagine having your hair washed with rose water every time you visited the hammam. Historians still argue whether the emphasis on hair care in the hammam was primarily for aesthetic reasons, promoting lustrous locks, or if there was a deeper cultural or even spiritual significance attached to the cleanliness and adornment of the hair. Was it just about looking good, or was it a sign of piety or status? You might find yourself drifting into a light doze during this stage, the rhythmic massage and the warm water creating an almost hypnotic effect. It's a luxurious feeling, being completely cared for without having to lift a finger. You think about how often you rush through your own hair washing at home, a quick lather and rinse, and compare it to this deliberate, mindful process. It's a stark reminder of the difference between efficiency and experience. The attendant's hands are skilled, their touch firm yet gentle, expertly working through your hair, ensuring every strand is clean. You feel the residue of the outside world being washed away, not just from your hair, but from your mind as well. It's a truly purifying experience. The steam in the air helps to open the hair cuticles, allowing the natural soap to penetrate deeply and cleans effectively. You can almost feel your scalp breathing, refreshed and invigorated. Remember that feeling of rebirth from the full body wash. This is just continuing that sensation, extending it to your head and hair. It's a holistic approach to cleansing, leaving no stone unturned or no strand unwashed. You can tell that the attendant is taking their time. There's no rush, just a focus on providing the best possible service. It's truly a moment of absolute indulgence. As the attendant begins the final rinse, pouring warm, clear water over your hair repeatedly until all the soap is gone, you feel a renewed sense of lightness. Your hair feels incredibly soft, clean, and surprisingly weighty with moisture. You emerge from this stage feeling completely refreshed, from head to toe, ready for the calming culmination of your hammam journey. After the thorough hair wash, the attendant now gently wraps your hair in a clean, warm towel. A simple yet comforting gesture that helps to absorb excess water and keep you cozy. You are then guided to a cooler section of the hammam, sometimes called the sogakluk or cool room, designed for gradual cooling down and further relaxation. The transition from the warm, steamy main chambers to this slightly cooler environment is pleasant, allowing your body to slowly adjust without any sudden chills. The air here is still warm but less humid, and often carries the subtle scent of lingering rosewater or a hint of fresh herbs. You find a comfortable spot on a raised marble bench, perhaps adorned with soft, dry towels, and are invited to simply rest. This is a period of quiet contemplation, a time to allow your pores to close naturally and your body to regulate its temperature. You might see other bathers similarly relaxing, some sipping cool drinks, others simply staring into space with a serene expression. A mainstream historical fact is that the sogakluk was considered just as vital to the hammam experience as the hot rooms, preventing shock to the system from sudden temperature changes and ensuring the body cooled down gradually and safely. It was a well thought out system for overall well-being. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some hammams had specific types of music, often soft, instrumental tunes played by unseen musicians, to enhance the tranquility of the cooling down process. Imagine a subtle lute playing in the background while you're just chilling after a good scrub. Historians still argue whether the sogakluk served purely a physical function in temperature regulation, or if it also held a psychological role, allowing bathers to transition mentally from the intense cleansing to a state of calm contemplation before re-entering the bustling outside world. Was it just a cool-down room? Or a meditation space? You might feel a gentle lightness in your limbs, a profound sense of relaxation that permeates your entire being. It's as if every muscle in your body has finally let go of its grip. You notice the subtle sounds of the hammam now seem more distant, softer, almost like echoes. Your mind, too, feels clearer, unburdened by the usual clutter of daily worries. It's a moment of pure serenity, a precious pause in the rush of life. You remember feeling like a car being washed in section 3? Well, now you're just gently drying off in the sun, polished and gleaming, and far less likely to have bird droppings on you. The attendant might offer you a small glass of cool sherbet or water, a refreshing burst of flavor that further aids in rehydration and adds to the feeling of pampered indulgence. You sip it slowly, savoring the taste, allowing it to cool you from the inside out. This period of rest is crucial. It's not just about getting clean. It's about achieving a state of complete relaxation and rejuvenation. You feel truly cared for, wrapped in the traditions of centuries. It's a luxurious ending to a remarkably thorough cleansing process. You might find yourself planning your next visit already. This is definitely going on your top 5 list of historical experiences, narrowly beating out that time you almost got stuck in an Egyptian pyramid. No small feat, that. The gentle hum of the hammam continues, a soothing background against which you find your breathing slowing, deepening, every breath a gentle sigh of contentment. You are truly at peace, a feeling that you realize is increasingly rare in the modern world. As you slowly regain your composure in the sogakluk, feeling thoroughly refreshed, an attendant approaches with a clean, dry set of clothes, often traditional robes made of soft cotton or linen. These garments are light and comfortable, allowing your freshly cleansed skin to breathe. You change in a private cubicle, feeling the soft fabric against your newly softened skin. The feeling is one of complete renewal, as if you are stepping into a brand new self. You might even feel a little taller, a little more confident, carrying yourself with a subtle grace that wasn't there before. The external transformation is now complete, and you feel the internal one catching up. A mainstream historical fact is that the provision of fresh clothing was a customary service in higher-end hammams, emphasizing the holistic nature of the experience from cleansing to comfort and readiness for departure. It was all part of the impeccable service. A quirky tidbit is that some bathers would wear special, intricately embroidered slippers, or even elaborate head coverings after their bath, not just for comfort but as a display of their personal style or status. Imagine matching your post-bath robe with designer slippers. Historians still argue whether the post-bath dressing rituals were primarily about practicality and modesty, or if they held a deeper symbolic meaning, representing a transition from the communal, vulnerable state of bathing back to one's individual social identity. Was it just getting dressed, or was it a form of re-entering society? You might feel a gentle pang of reluctance to leave this tranquil haven, but also a quiet eagerness to carry this newfound sense of calm into the world. It's like emerging from a perfectly relaxing dream, ready to face reality, but with a renewed spirit. You look around at the other bathers, a sense of shared experience passing between you all, a quiet acknowledgement of the journey you've just undertaken. There's a certain glow about everyone, a collective aura of peace and contentment. You notice that the air in the Soggercluck is now beginning to feel almost crisp, compared to the humid warmth of the main bathing chambers, a perfect final adjustment before stepping out into the bustling streets. You take a deep, satisfying breath, inhaling the faint, sweet scent of rosewater that still lingers in the air. It's a beautiful reminder of the exquisite care you've just received. You think about how often you rush out of a shower, hair dripping, throwing on whatever clothes are closest. This deliberate, slow transition back into your daily attire is a luxury in itself, allowing you to savor every moment of your refreshed state. It's a lesson in mindfulness, truly. You feel so relaxed, you're pretty sure you could float home. No need for a taxi, just a gentle current of good vibes. This entire experience has been a testament to the Ottoman understanding of well-being, a blend of physical hygiene, social interaction, and profound relaxation. You realize that ancient civilizations often had a far more sophisticated approach to self-care than we often give them credit for. As you gather your personal belongings, feeling the soft cotton of your fresh clothes against your skin, you feel utterly ready to face the world again, but this time, with a profound sense of calm and rejuvenation. The memories of the warm marble, the gentle scrub, and the soothing steam will undoubtedly linger, a comforting echo of a truly timeless tradition. You are not just clean, you are fundamentally refreshed. Now fully dressed and feeling utterly revitalized, you exit the hammam's cooling room and step back into the antechamber, the space where you initially paid your fee and prepared for your bath. The lighting here feels a little brighter than the serene glow of the interior, but it's still soft and inviting. The air carries a blend of the faint bathhouse scents and the gentle aroma of coffee or tea, indicating another traditional offering. You notice small, low tables scattered around, surrounded by comfortable cushions, inviting you to linger. An attendant approaches, not with a towel or soap, but with a small, intricately patterned tray bearing a tiny cup of strong, dark Turkish coffee or a glass of sweet, fragrant tea. This is a customary post-bath refreshment, a gentle way to fully awaken your senses and ground yourself after the profound relaxation. A mainstream historical fact is that the offering of coffee or tea after a hammam bath was a deeply ingrained social custom, providing a moment for patrons to socialize, share stories, and slowly transition back to the outside world. It wasn't just a drink, it was an integral part of the experience. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some hammam owners would employ specific storytellers, or even musicians to entertain patrons in the antechamber, turning the post-bath relaxation into a lively social event. Imagine getting a fresh scrub and then being treated to ancient tales! Historians still argue whether the post-bath socializing was primarily a practical way to extend customer enjoyment and build loyalty, or if it served a deeper communal purpose, fostering bonds and sharing important information within the community. Was it just a hangout spot or a vital part of urban life? You might feel a gentle surge of energy as the warm liquid touches your lips, a welcome contrast to the soft lethargy of the bath. The coffee is rich and invigorating, or the tea is subtly sweet and calming, depending on your choice. You sip it slowly, appreciating the moment, allowing the flavors to awaken your palate. You reflect on the entire experience, how it started with a simple entrance and transformed into a multi-sensory journey of cleansing and relaxation. It's a testament to the Ottoman people's understanding of well-being, a far cry from the hurried, impersonal nature of many modern services. You might strike up a quiet conversation with another bather, sharing a silent nod of understanding about the blissful state you both find yourselves in. There's a quiet camaraderie in this space, a shared appreciation for the timeless ritual you've just participated in. You remember that earlier thought about floating home. Well, now you're feeling grounded, but still incredibly light and refreshed. No longer floating, but gently anchored by a delicious beverage, and far less likely to be mistaken for a sentient cloud. The chatter around you is low and pleasant, not intrusive, merely a gentle backdrop to your quiet contemplation. It's a wonderful way to ease back into the world, slowly and deliberately. The sun, still warm outside, casts long shadows through the arched windows, signaling the progression of the day. You feel a sense of peaceful completion, a job well done by both you and the hammam. You know you'll remember this feeling for a long time. It's not just a memory of a historical place, but of a profound sense of self-care and tradition. You're already planning your return visit in your head, perhaps bringing a friend next time to share this unique and utterly relaxing experience. As you leisurely finish your coffee or tea, a sense of lingering tranquility washes over you. You are no longer just a visitor in a historical place. You feel like you have genuinely experienced a slice of Ottoman life. The sounds of the antechamber, the soft clinking of cups, the murmur of conversation, and the distant sounds of the city outside all contribute to this feeling of grounded authenticity. You take a moment to observe the details of the room around you. The intricate wooden ceilings, perhaps with painted motifs, and the polished stone floors that still feel cool and smooth beneath your feet. There's a subtle craftsmanship in every element, a dedication to beauty and function that speaks volumes about the culture that built these spaces. A mainstream historical fact is that many Ottoman hammams were not just built for public use, but were often part of larger charitable complexes, including mosques, soup kitchens, and schools, highlighting the integral role of communal well-being in Ottoman society. They were more than just baths. They were cornerstones of community life. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some wealthy families would commission private, smaller hammams within their own homes, complete with their own attendants and amenities, creating personal havens of luxury. Imagine having your own private hammam, living the dream, right? Historians still argue whether the charitable aspect of hammams was primarily driven by genuine philanthropic intent, or if it also served as a means for wealthy patrons to demonstrate their piety and social standing within the community. Was it pure altruism or a touch of social climbing? You might find yourself imagining the countless generations of people who have sat in this very spot, enjoying this same moment of post-bath peace. From merchants discussing trade deals to scholars debating philosophy to ordinary citizens simply unwinding, these walls have witnessed it all. It's a powerful connection to the past, a silent understanding that transcends time. You remember the earlier thought about the hammam being a democratic space, and sitting here, seeing people from various walks of life sharing this moment, you feel that sentiment reinforced. There's a quiet equality in shared relaxation. You might even feel a little bit smug, knowing you've experienced something truly unique and deeply relaxing, while your friends are probably stuck in traffic. No offense to your friends, of course. The warmth from the bath still seems to linger in your body, a subtle glow beneath your skin. You feel cleansed not just physically but mentally, as if the worries and stresses of the modern world have been scrubbed away with the dead skin cells. It's a remarkable transformation. You take another slow, deliberate sip of your drink, allowing the flavors to dance on your tongue. The outside world is still waiting, but for now, you are suspended in this moment of pure, unadulterated tranquility. The sounds of the city outside begin to filter in more clearly, a gentle reminder that your journey back to the present is approaching. But you're not quite ready to leave yet. You savor these last few minutes, soaking in the atmosphere, knowing that this feeling of peaceful renewal will stay with you long after you've stepped out of the hammam's doors. It's a memory you'll tuck away for those moments when you need a little mental escape, a reminder of a time and place where well-being was an art. As you prepare to finally depart the hammam, you take a moment to reflect on the complete sensory experience. Beyond the physical cleansing, there's a profound sense of mental and emotional restoration that has occurred. The air, though no longer thick with steam, still holds a faint, pleasant warmth, a ghostly echo of the intense heat and humidity you experienced earlier. You stand up from the comfortable cushions, feeling remarkably light and unburdened. as if you've shed not just layers of skin, but also layers of accumulated stress. The world outside the hammam's doors, with its bustling streets and daily demands, feels a little less daunting, a little more manageable now. You feel a quiet confidence, a serene readiness to re-engage with your day. A mainstream historical fact is that regular visits to the hammam were considered essential for good health and spiritual well-being in Ottoman society. Not just a luxury, but a fundamental aspect of life. It was a preventative measure, a holistic approach to maintaining balance. A quirky tidbit I once heard is that some superstitious bathers would perform specific rituals or say quiet prayers before leaving the hammam, believing it would ensure the positive effects of the bath would last longer, or even bring good luck. Imagine asking the universe for extra softness and glow. Historians still argue whether the lasting psychological benefits reported by bathers were purely a result of the physical relaxation and cleansing, or if there was a deeper cultural conditioning at play, where the hammam was seen as a sacred space for renewal. Was it just a placebo effect, or a genuine spiritual uplift? You might find yourself walking with a slightly slower, more deliberate pace, unwilling to rush this lingering feeling of peace. Every step feels a little lighter, every breath a little deeper. You glance back at the ornate entrance. A silent thank you to this ancient tradition that has offered you such profound respite. You're definitely going to tell everyone about this. It's not just a bath, it's an experience, a journey, a historical dive into self-care. And honestly, it puts that bubble bath you had last night to shame. No offense, Bubbles, but you've been outdone. The sounds of the city outside seem a little less harsh, a little more distant, as if your ears have also been cleansed, allowing only the pleasant tones to filter through. You feel a subtle energy humming beneath your skin, a vibrant cleanliness that extends inwards. It's a feeling of complete harmony within your own body. You realize that sometimes the simplest traditions hold the most profound benefits. There's no fancy technology here, no complicated machinery, just the wisdom of centuries applied to the art of well-being. And it's incredibly effective. As you finally step out of the hammam's threshold, the world outside greets you with its familiar sounds and sights, but you face it with a renewed sense of calm and clarity. The experience has imprinted itself upon you, a subtle but powerful reminder of the enduring beauty and wisdom of the past. You're not just clean, you're refreshed, revitalized, and ready to embrace whatever comes next. Carrying a piece of Ottoman tranquility with you, stepping out of the serene environment of the hammam, and back onto the vibrant streets of the Ottoman city, you feel a distinct shift in atmosphere. The air, once laden with steam and rosewater, now carries the bustling scents of spices, baked goods, and perhaps the faint aroma of leather from nearby workshops. The gentle quiet of the bathhouse is replaced by the lively symphony of urban life, the calls of street vendors, the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer, the distant murmur of conversations, and the occasional bray of a donkey. Yet, despite the sudden increase in sensory input, the profound sense of calm you cultivated within the hammam remains with you, acting like a protective bubble, softening the edges of the outside world. You find yourself observing the street scene with a detached curiosity, almost as if watching a play unfold before you, rather than being swept up in its current. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman cities were incredibly vibrant and bustling centers of trade and culture, drawing people from across vast regions and creating a rich tapestry of sights and sounds. The streets were truly the arteries of daily life. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some street vendors near hammams specialized in selling specific post-bath refreshments or small, comforting snacks, knowing that bathers would emerge feeling hungry and refreshed. Imagine a historical food truck waiting for you right outside. Historians still argue whether the sensory overload of Ottoman cities was primarily a practical consequence of densely populated urban areas, or if there was an underlying aesthetic or cultural appreciation for such a rich and varied soundscape. Was it just noisy, or was it considered a sign of a thriving metropolis? You might even notice subtle details you would have previously overlooked. The intricate carvings on a wooden doorway, the vibrant colors of a merchant's stall, the graceful movements of a woman carrying a water jug. Your senses feel heightened, sharpened by the cleansing process, allowing you to perceive the world with new clarity. You walk with a slow, deliberate pace, savoring the feeling of fresh air on your clean skin, the gentle warmth of the sun on your head. You're not rushing, because you've learned that slowing down reveals so much more. This is way better than trying to navigate rush hour traffic after a stressful day. No honking horns, just the distant bleating of a goat, much more soothing. You can almost feel the residual warmth from the Göbek Taisi radiating from your core, a gentle reminder of the deep relaxation you experienced. It's a feeling that seems to emanate outwards, creating a subtle aura of peace around you. You notice that people seem to move around you, almost deferring to your calm presence. Or maybe you're just projecting. Either way, it's a nice feeling. The street vendors' calls are not jarring, but rather a charming part of the urban symphony. You might even find yourself smiling faintly, a genuine expression of contentment that reflects the inner peace you've found. You're not just clean. You're calm. You're not just outside. You're observing. It's a beautiful state of being, a gentle transition from one world to another, carrying the best parts of both with you. You realize that the true luxury of the hammam isn't just the physical cleaning, but the mental purification, the ability to find stillness amidst the chaos. As you continue your gentle stroll through the Ottoman streets, the memories of the hammam's serene interior are still fresh, yet you are now fully immersed in the vibrant energy of the external world. Your senses, sharpened by the bath, pick up on myriad details. You notice the textures of the buildings, rough hewn stone juxtaposed with smooth, polished marble, crumbling plaster next to freshly painted wood. The colors are richer too, from the earthy tones of clay pots to the vibrant hues of dyes drying on lines. The sounds blend into a complex tapestry, allowing you to distinguish individual elements within the larger hum, the rhythmic tap-tap-tap of a cobbler at work, the distant, melodic call to prayer drifting from a minaret, the joyful shouts of children playing in a narrow alleyway. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman urban planning often incorporated narrow, winding streets, designed not only for defense, but also to create natural shade and cooler microclimates in hot weather, a clever architectural adaptation. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some street performers near the main thoroughfares would tell stories or recite poetry specifically about the daily routines of city life, including humorous anecdotes about hammam visits. Imagine a stand-up comedian whose material is all about bathhouse woes. Historians still argue whether the apparent lack of strict zoning in Ottoman cities, where residential and commercial areas often intermingled, was primarily a result of organic growth and practical necessity, or if it reflected a philosophical approach to urban living, emphasizing close-knit communities and easy access to services. Was it just chaotic or a deliberate design? You find yourself observing the faces of the people you pass, the weathered wisdom in an elder's eyes, the quick, curious glance of a child, the focused intensity of a craftsman. Each face tells a silent story, a brief glimpse into a life unfolding around you. You feel a quiet connection to this flow of humanity, a sense of belonging in this historical moment. It's a feeling that's hard to replicate in the often isolated bubbles of modern life. You realize that a good bath isn't just about getting clean. It's about seeing the world with fresh eyes, literally and figuratively. And honestly, it's a lot cheaper than therapy. Just saying. The lingering scent of rosewater from the hammam occasionally mixes with the more pungent aromas of the street, creating an intriguing olfactory blend. It's a sensory bridge between the two worlds, a subtle reminder of the peace you've left behind, yet still carry within. You might notice a small shop selling dried fruits and nuts. Their vibrant colors a feast for the eyes. The warmth of the sun on your skin feels particularly pleasant after the enveloping humidity of the bathhouse. You feel incredibly present, every sensation vivid and immediate. This level of sensory engagement is a rare gift in a world often dulled by distraction. You're not just walking, you're experiencing. You're not just seeing, you're observing. It's a profound feeling of being truly alive, awakened by the simple, ancient ritual of the hammam. You're almost glowing, aren't you? It's that post-hammam sheen. You're ready for whatever the day brings, armed with an inner calm that seems impenetrable. Your journey continues through the labyrinthine streets, each turn revealing a new tableau of Ottoman life. You notice the architectural nuances that distinguish one neighborhood from another, perhaps a particular style of wooden latticework on windows, or the way balconies jut out, creating shaded walkways below. The sounds of daily commerce grow louder as you approach a bustling market square. The air here vibrates with a more intense energy, a symphony of bargaining voices, the clatter of goods, and the occasional bleat of livestock being led through the thoroughfare. Your senses, still finely tuned from the hammam, process this vibrant chaos with surprising ease, filtering the important details from the general hum. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman marketplaces, or bazaars, were meticulously organized, with specific sections dedicated to different trades, spices, textiles, pottery, and so on, allowing for efficient trade and consumer navigation. It was an ancient form of retail therapy, complete with historical impulse buys. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some bazaar merchants would offer small, ceremonial sips of sherbet to potential customers as a sign of hospitality, and to sweeten the deal literally. Imagine getting a refreshing drink every time you shop. Historians still argue whether the vibrant, sometimes chaotic nature of the bazaar was primarily a reflection of its role as a commercial hub, or if it also served as a vital social space for community interaction, news dissemination, and cultural exchange. Was it just a place to buy things, or the ultimate public square? You find yourself drawn to a stall overflowing with vibrant textiles. Their rich colors and intricate patterns a feast for the eyes. You run your hand over a bolt of silk, feeling its smooth, luxurious texture, a stark contrast to the coarse case from earlier. You consider purchasing a small souvenir, a tangible reminder of this incredible journey, but then decide against it. The experience itself is the truest keepsake. You realize that the hammam didn't just clean your body, it also cleared your mind, allowing you to absorb the richness of your surroundings without feeling overwhelmed. It's like hitting the reset button on your internal noise cancellation. And honestly, who needs retail therapy when you've just had a full body purification? This is way more effective, and probably cheaper in the long run. The aroma of freshly baked bread wafts from a nearby bakery, a comforting earthy scent that mixes with the exotic perfumes of the spice stalls. You feel a gentle hunger stirring, a healthy appetite awakened by the deep cleansing. The sun, now higher in the sky, casts sharper shadows, delineating the various stalls and pathways with striking clarity. You feel a sense of profound engagement with the present moment, completely absorbed in the sights, sounds, and smells of this ancient market. You're not just walking through history. You're living it, even if just for a fleeting moment. And for once, you're not checking your phone. A true victory in the digital age. You're aware of the lively banter between merchants and customers, the unspoken rituals of negotiation, a timeless dance of commerce. The energy is infectious, yet you remain rooted in your inner calm, an island of serenity amidst the joyful chaos. It's a unique sensation, allowing you to participate in the vibrancy without being consumed by it. Moving away from the most intense bustle of the main bazaar, you find yourself wandering down a slightly quieter side street, lined with smaller artisan workshops. Here the sounds are more focused, the precise tap-tap-tap of a metalworker shaping copper, the gentle swish of a painter's brush against a canvas, the soft whisper of a weaver's shuttle. The air carries the distinct scent of wood smoke from a pottery kiln, or perhaps the sharp tang of dyes from a textile workshop. These are the hidden veins of the city, where craftsmanship and dedication to tradition thrive. You peer into an open doorway, observing a potter meticulously shaping a clay vessel on his wheel, his hands moving with practiced grace and focus. There's a timeless quality to his work, a sense of artistry that has been passed down through generations. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman artisans were highly skilled and respected, with guilds controlling quality and training, ensuring the continuation of traditional crafts for centuries. They were the original masters of their domain. A quirky tidbit I learned is that some Ottoman potters would incorporate tiny, almost invisible symbols or hidden messages into the base of their wares, personal signatures or even blessings, visible only to the keenest eye. Imagine finding a secret message on your coffee cup. Historians still argue whether the widespread practice of artisanal crafts in Ottoman society was primarily driven by economic necessity and local production, or if it also fostered a deeper cultural value for handmade goods and unique artistic expression over mass production. Was it just about making stuff, or about pouring your soul into it? You feel a quiet admiration for the dedication and patience required for such work. It's a stark contrast to the instant gratification that often dominates modern life. Here, beauty and utility are slowly, carefully created. You realize that your own internal peace, cultivated in the hammam, resonates with the calm focus of these artisans. It's a shared language of deliberate creation. You're definitely not going to rush your next cup of coffee after seeing the painstaking effort that goes into making the ceramic. And maybe you'll even appreciate your socks more, Knowing the historical effort involved in weaving? No, probably not. But the thought is there. The sunlight, filtering through the narrow gaps between buildings, creates dramatic shafts of light and shadow, highlighting the dust motes dancing in the air and illuminating the intricate details of the workshops. It's a visual feast, a silent celebration of human ingenuity. You notice a small boy, an apprentice perhaps, diligently sweeping the floor outside a workshop, already learning the discipline of his craft. The continuity of tradition is palpable here, a living link to the past. You feel a sense of profound connection to this timeless dedication, a quiet appreciation for the enduring power of human skill. This is the real history, unfolding before your eyes, not in dusty books, but in the rhythmic sounds and deliberate movements of everyday life. You're not just seeing the past, you're breathing it in. You feel your own pace slowing even further, matching the unhurried rhythm of the artisans. There's a deep satisfaction in simply observing, in being present in this quiet corner of the Ottoman world. As you continue your exploration of the artisan quarter, the air takes on a new aroma, a tantalizing blend of sweet pastry and freshly ground spices. Your stomach, now fully awake and feeling remarkably light after the bath, begins to rumble gently. You spot a small, unassuming shop with a wooden awning, and through its open doorway, you see trays piled high with golden pastries, glistening with syrup, and intricately spiced confections. This is a traditional Ottoman patisserie or sweet shop, a haven of sugary delights. The sheer variety is astonishing, each pastry a tiny work of art. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman cuisine, particularly its sweets and pastries, was incredibly sophisticated and diverse, often incorporating ingredients like honey, nuts, dried fruits, and aromatic spices such as cinnamon and cloves. They were the original master bakers, putting even modern patisseries to shame with their historical deliciousness. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some Ottoman pastry chefs would compete in unofficial baking contests, with winning recipes becoming closely guarded family secrets passed down through generations. Imagine a historical bake-off, complete with secret ingredients and elaborate show-stopping creations. Historians still argue whether the elaborate nature and sheer variety of Ottoman sweets were primarily a reflection of their status as a luxury item for the wealthy, or if they played a broader role in daily life, marking celebrations and shared communal meals across all social strata. Was it just fancy dessert, or a ubiquitous treat? You step inside, and the warmth from the ovens and the intoxicating scent of sugar and spice envelop you. You feel a sudden, delightful urge to indulge. A simple pleasure after the disciplined cleansing of the hammam. You point to a small, diamond-shaped pastry, perhaps a baklava or a kadayif, its layers shimmering with syrup. The shopkeeper, a kindly man with flour dusting his apron, smiles warmly and carefully places it on a small plate for you. You take a bite, and the sweetness explodes on your tongue, followed by the satisfying crunch of nuts and the delicate flakiness of the pastry. It's pure bliss, a moment of unadulterated enjoyment. You remember the simple refreshment of the post-hammam sherbet, and this feels like a delightful culmination, a sweet reward. You realize that while cleanliness was paramount, the Ottomans certainly knew how to balance it with pleasure. Life wasn't all scrubbing and sweating, thankfully. The sugar rush is gentle, not overwhelming, a subtle lift to your spirits. You feel a renewed sense of well-being, a perfect balance of ancient traditions and simple indulgence. This little pastry feels like a bridge between the disciplined past and your own modern enjoyment. You're definitely going to savor every single crumb, and then probably try another one, for historical research, of course. This quiet moment of deliciousness in a centuries-old patisserie feels incredibly authentic, a sensory connection to the culinary heritage of the Ottoman Empire. You're not just eating a pastry, you're tasting history. Satisfied with your sweet indulgence, you continue your journey through the Ottoman city, feeling a renewed sense of energy and contentment. The sun, now nearing its zenith, casts a warm, golden light over everything, illuminating the intricate details of the architecture and the vibrant colors of the market stalls. You notice the rhythmic creak of a water wheel in the distance, a gentle, persistent sound that speaks of the ingenuity of ancient engineering. The air feels lighter now, the early morning humidity having dissipated, replaced by a dry warmth that is surprisingly pleasant. A mainstream historical fact is that water infrastructure, including aqueducts, cisterns, and public fountains, was highly developed in the Ottoman Empire, reflecting a deep understanding of urban planning and public health. They were practically pioneers in water management, way ahead of their time. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some public fountains were designed with intricate, almost musical water flows, creating soothing background sounds for passers-by. Imagine a public fountain that doubles as a serene soundscape. Historians still argue whether the widespread construction of public fountains and water amenities was primarily driven by practical needs for hydration and sanitation, or if it also served as a visible symbol of imperial generosity and public welfare, enhancing the legitimacy of the rulers. Was it just about water, or about political messaging? You find yourself pausing at one such public fountain, admiring its ornate marble carvings and the steady stream of cool, clear water flowing into a basin. You cup your hands and take a refreshing sip, the coolness a welcome contrast to the warmth of the day. It tastes pure and invigorating, a testament to the effectiveness of ancient water systems. You feel a profound connection to the countless individuals who have quenched their thirst at this very fountain over the centuries, a silent shared experience spanning generations. It's a simple act, yet deeply resonant. You think about how easy it is to take clean water for granted in the modern world, and this moment serves as a gentle reminder of its preciousness. You might even find yourself contemplating the engineering marvels that brought this water here, feeling a quiet respect for the minds that conceived and built such enduring structures. No high-tech filtration needed, just good old gravity and clever design. And definitely no plastic bottles littering the place. Just pure, refreshing water. The sound of the flowing water is incredibly soothing. A gentle background hum that enhances the already peaceful atmosphere you carry from the hammam. You feel completely hydrated from the inside out, complementing the external cleansing you received earlier. It's a holistic sense of well-being. The sun glints off the wet marble, creating shimmering patterns that dance in your vision. You are fully present in this moment, a quiet observer of history unfolding before your eyes, a participant in its timeless rhythms. You're not just refreshed, you're enlightened, and you've definitely earned a few more bonus points for historical immersion. As you continue your leisurely exploration, you stumble upon a small, quiet mosque, its elegant minaret reaching towards the clear blue sky. The exterior is modest yet beautiful, adorned with intricate tile work and calligraphy. The air here feels even calmer, a subtle shift in the city's energy, infused with a sense of peace and contemplation. You notice people quietly entering and exiting, their faces reflecting a serene dignity. A mainstream historical fact is that mosques in the Ottoman Empire were not just places of worship, but also served as community centers, offering education, social support, and often acting as hubs for intellectual exchange. They were truly the heart of the community, much more than just a Sunday gathering. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some of the older mosques had specific sections or alcoves designed for quiet study or meditation, accessible even to non-Muslim visitors who sought a moment of tranquility. Imagine a historical quiet zone, perfect for a post-Hammam chill. Historians still argue whether the architectural grandeur of many Ottoman mosques was primarily a reflection of religious devotion and imperial power, or if it also aimed to inspire awe and a sense of spiritual uplift in the general populace. Was it just about showing off, or about fostering faith? You pause at the entrance, removing your shoes as a sign of respect, and step onto the cool, soft carpets within. The interior is hushed, the only sounds the soft rustle of clothing and the occasional whispered prayer. The light, filtered through stained glass windows, casts colorful patterns on the walls and floor, creating a serene and ethereal atmosphere. You find a quiet corner and sit down, simply absorbing the tranquility. The silence is profound, a welcome respite from the city's gentle hum. You feel a deep sense of inner calm, a continuation of the peace you found in the hammam. It's as if the spiritual cleansing of the bath has prepared you for this moment of quiet reverence. You might find yourself breathing a little deeper, your thoughts slowing down, allowing for a moment of quiet introspection. It's a feeling of profound connection to something larger than yourself, a universal sense of peace. And honestly, after all that historical walking, a moment to sit down is truly a blessing. No offense to historical accuracy, but my feet are starting to get the message. The air inside is cool and still, carrying a faint, pleasant scent of incense or old wood. You feel completely at ease, unburdened by worries or distractions. It's a moment of pure presence, a rare gift in the modern world. You realize that the Ottoman way of life seamlessly integrated physical well-being with spiritual contemplation, creating a holistic approach to living. You're not just a clean body. you're a calm mind and a quiet spirit. This quiet moment in the mosque feels like the perfect complement to the physical cleansing of the hammam, bringing a sense of completeness to your journey. You are truly at peace, a feeling that seems to emanate from your very core, a gentle glow that shines outwards. As you quietly depart the mosque, carrying with you the profound sense of peace and contemplation, you notice the subtle shift in the day's light. The sun is beginning its descent, casting long, golden shadows across the intricate architecture and narrow streets. The air is starting to cool, carrying a gentle breeze that whispers through the ancient city. You feel a quiet sense of anticipation, a readiness to experience the Ottoman city as it transitions from the bustling energy of day to the softer glow of evening. A mainstream historical fact is that the call to prayer, recited 5 times a day, marked the rhythm of daily life in Ottoman cities, signaling not only prayer times but also transitions in activity and social gatherings. It was a beautiful, ancient clock, a constant reminder of the flow of time. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some prominent minarets had intricate lighting systems, using oil lamps or even early forms of glass lanterns to guide people to prayer or simply to add a decorative glow to the cityscape after dusk. Imagine navigating by the glow of a beautifully lit minaret. Historians still argue whether the consistent and public nature of the call to prayer was primarily a religious imperative, or if it also served a practical purpose, coordinating activities and providing a pervasive sense of social order in a time before widespread clocks. Was it just devotion, or a very smart city management system? You find yourself walking towards a part of the city that seems to be preparing for the evening's activities. The aroma of simmering stews and grilling meats begins to mingle with the lingering scents of spices and flowers, promising the delights of an Ottoman dinner. You notice vendors beginning to light their oil lamps, casting a warm, flickering glow that softens the edges of the buildings and creates an inviting ambience. The sounds of the city, which were once sharp and bustling, now seem to mellow into a lower, more harmonious hum, punctuated by the occasional laughter or the quiet strumming of a stringed instrument. You feel a gentle hunger stirring, a healthy appetite awakened by your day of historical exploration and profound cleansing. It's a natural progression, a complete cycle of sensory experience. You realize that your time in the hammam earlier has not just cleansed your body, but has also sharpened your appreciation for these subtle transitions, allowing you to be fully present for each moment. It's like your internal dimmer switch has been fine-tuned. And honestly, after all that walking and relaxation, you've earned a good meal. No calorie counting tonight, just pure historical culinary enjoyment. The light is particularly beautiful now, a warm, soft hue that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. You feel a deep sense of peace and contentment, a calm resilience that the day's activities have only deepened. You're not just observing history, you're becoming a part of its unfolding narrative, a quiet participant in the timeless rhythm of an Ottoman evening. This whole day has been a masterclass in living, truly. You're a clean body, a clear mind, and a very happy stomach. What more could you ask for? As the sun dips lower, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, you find yourself drawn towards the tantalizing aromas emanating from a bustling eatery. This isn't a grand restaurant, but a cozy, traditional locanta, a local eating house where the daily specials are cooked with love and served with a hearty dose of Ottoman hospitality. The sounds of clattering plates, friendly chatter, and the sizzling of food on hot griddles create a welcoming symphony. You step inside, and the warmth and lively atmosphere embrace you. The interior is simple but inviting, with low tables and cushioned benches, and the air is thick with the mouth-watering scents of herbs, grilled lamb, and fragrant rice. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman cuisine was incredibly diverse, drawing influences from across its vast empire, leading to a rich tapestry of flavors and dishes, from hearty stews to delicate pastries. It was truly a fusion cuisine, centuries before the term was invented. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some locantas had resident storytellers who would entertain diners with epic tales or humorous anecdotes while they ate, turning a simple meal into a memorable cultural experience. Imagine dinner and a show, Ottoman style. Historians still argue whether the communal dining practices in locantas primarily fostered social cohesion and interaction, or if they were also a practical necessity in a society where many people lived in smaller dwellings without extensive cooking facilities. Was it just about eating, or about building community? You find a small, empty table and settle onto a comfortable cushion, feeling the gentle relief of resting your feet after your day of exploration. An attendant approaches with a warm smile, gesturing towards the large pots and trays displaying the day's offerings. Everything looks incredibly fresh and delicious, making your decision delightfully difficult. You point to a slow-cooked lamb stew, perhaps kuzu, and a side of fragrant rice, trusting the chef's recommendation. The food arrives quickly, served in rustic earthenware dishes. The lamb is incredibly tender, falling apart with a touch of your fork, and the flavors are rich and complex, a symphony of savory notes. The rice is perfectly cooked, each grain separate and infused with delicate spices. You eat slowly, savoring each bite, allowing the warmth and flavors to fill you. This meal feels incredibly grounding, a perfect complement to the earlier cleansing of the hammam. You're nourishing your body after purifying it, completing a full circle of well-being. And honestly, after all that mental and physical rejuvenation, you deserve this deliciousness. This is far better than a microwave meal, that's for sure. The gentle hum of conversation around you is comforting, a reminder of the shared human experience of sustenance and connection. You feel completely at ease, a part of the vibrant tapestry of Ottoman life. You realize that history isn't just about grand events, it's about these simple, everyday moments of sensory pleasure and human connection. This meal is not just food, it's a living piece of culinary history. You clean your plate, feeling deeply satisfied and perfectly full, ready to gently wind down your historical day. As you finish your delightful meal, the last vestiges of daylight fade, and the city lights begin to twinkle, transforming the Ottoman streets into a magical tableau. The low counter hums with contented chatter, but you feel a gentle pull to step back out and witness the city under the stars. The air is cooler now, crisp and refreshing after the warmth of the restaurant. A soft breeze carries the distant sounds of night, the haunting melody of a ney flute, the gentle rhythmic beat of a hand drum, and the laughter of people enjoying the evening. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman cities were often vibrant at night, with street vendors continuing their trade under lamplight, coffee houses buzzing with conversation, and public spaces becoming centers for evening entertainment and social gatherings. Nightlife wasn't a modern invention. It was an ancient tradition. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some Ottoman coffee houses would employ professional storytellers or even shadow puppet masters, providing captivating entertainment for hours on end. Imagine getting your caffeine fix with a side of historical Netflix. Historians still argue whether the increased nocturnal activity in Ottoman cities was primarily a practical adaptation to hot daytime temperatures, or if it also reflected a cultural preference for evening social life and leisurely pursuits after the day's work was done. Was it too hot during the day, or did they just love a good evening stroll? You find yourself walking towards a square where the sounds of music are more pronounced. You see small groups gathered around musicians, their faces illuminated by the flickering glow of lanterns. The music is soulful and rhythmic, a blend of ancient melodies that speak of joy, sorrow, and the timeless human experience. You feel a spontaneous urge to simply stand and listen, allowing the sounds to wash over you. The music is incredibly calming, a perfect end to your day of historical immersion. It's a stark contrast to the often jarring and loud music of the modern world, a gentle serenade for the soul. You remember the sense of peace you felt in the hammam, and this music seems to resonate with that same quiet tranquility. It's like the city itself is now singing a lullaby, preparing you for a peaceful night's rest. You might even find yourself swaying gently to the rhythm, a subtle, unconscious movement reflecting your deep relaxation. No, you're not going to try to dance. Not after that big meal. You're definitely more in the gentle sway zone. The stars begin to emerge, pinpricks of light in the vast, inky canvas of the sky, adding another layer of magic to the scene. You feel a profound sense of gratitude for this day, for the opportunity to step back in time and experience such simple, profound pleasures. It's a reminder that true richness isn't always found in material possessions, but in moments of connection and quiet beauty. You're not just listening to music, you're experiencing the pulse of an ancient city winding down, preparing for rest. It's a beautiful, peaceful end to an extraordinary day. As the night deepens, the vibrant sounds of the city slowly begin to soften, replaced by the hushed whispers of the evening. The air, now cool and refreshing, carries the faint scent of night-blooming jasmine and damp earth. You find yourself wandering towards a less frequented part of the city. Where the streets narrow and the buildings are older, their stone walls worn smooth by centuries of touch. The light here is softer, relying more on the gentle glow from scattered lanterns and the pale moonlight filtering through the gaps between buildings. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman urban areas often had designated quiet zones or residential districts, where noise was minimized to allow for rest and contemplation. A thoughtful approach to urban living. They clearly understood the need for a good night's sleep, unlike some modern city planners. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some wealthy Ottoman homes had rooftop gardens or enclosed courtyards, specifically designed for evening strolls and quiet reflection under the stars, offering a private oasis of tranquility. Imagine having your own personal stargazing spot on your roof. Historians still argue whether the relatively quiet nights in residential areas were primarily a result of limited artificial lighting and technology, or if there was a deeper cultural preference for peaceful evenings, emphasizing family time and personal reflection. Was it just dark, or was it a conscious choice for quietude? You notice the intricate details of a wooden doorway. Its carvings almost invisible in the daylight, but now brought into sharp relief by the soft glow of a nearby lantern. You can almost feel the stories embedded in the ancient wood, the countless hands that have touched it over the centuries. You feel a profound sense of connection to the past, a quiet communion with the generations who walked these very streets before you. It's a humbling yet deeply comforting feeling. You're not just walking, you're traversing time. And you're doing it with an incredibly clean and relaxed body, thanks to that hammam. No historical foot cramps tonight, thank you very much. The distant sounds of the city, once a vibrant hum, now feel like a gentle, rhythmic heartbeat, a calming presence in the quiet night. You take a deep breath, inhaling the cool, clean air, feeling a sense of profound serenity wash over you. It's a perfect end to your day of historical immersion, a gradual winding down that allows your mind and body to fully embrace the peace. You feel incredibly grounded, yet also wonderfully light, as if the day's experiences have elevated your spirit. You look up at the moon, a sliver of silver against the velvet black sky, and feel a sense of universal connection, a timeless rhythm that transcends all eras. This moment of quiet beauty is the true treasure of your journey, a silent reminder that even in the busiest of worlds, peace can always be found. You're ready to drift off to sleep, feeling completely at ease. As you continue your tranquil nocturnal stroll, the air grows increasingly still, punctuated only by the soft rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. The distinct scent of wood smoke, perhaps from a distant brazier or a lingering hearth fire, mixes faintly with the cool night air, adding a comforting, earthy note to the evening. The faint glow of scattered oil lamps in windows and along pathways casts long, dancing shadows, creating an almost dreamlike quality to the ancient streets. You notice the rhythmic chirping of crickets, a gentle lullaby from the natural world, a soothing contrast to the daytime city sounds. A mainstream historical fact is that nocturnal animal sounds, like crickets and nightingales, were often considered part of the natural soundtrack of Ottoman urban life, contributing to a sense of peace and natural rhythm after dark. They were the original nature sound machines. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some Ottoman poets would compose verses specifically inspired by the sounds and atmosphere of the city at night, seeing it as a time for introspection and creative inspiration. Imagine ancient poets jotting down lines by lamplight. Historians still argue whether the limited artificial lighting at night was primarily a practical constraint due to available technology, or if it also fostered a cultural appreciation for the natural darkness and the subtle beauty of moon and starlight. Was it just dim, or was it a deliberate choice for ambience? You find yourself pausing before a silent, ancient wall, its stones weathered and smooth, almost warm to the touch from the day's sun. You close your eyes for a moment, absorbing the stillness, allowing the gentle sounds of the night to wash over you. You feel a deep sense of connection to the long history embedded in these stones, to the countless lives that have unfolded within their silent embrace. It's a profound moment of timelessness, a gentle reminder that some things endure, unchanged by the relentless march of progress. You realize that the deep relaxation from the hammam has primed your senses for this level of subtle appreciation, allowing you to truly immerse yourself in the quiet magic of the Ottoman night. Your mind is clear, your body is rested, and your spirit is serene. You're pretty sure this is what true inner peace feels like. No alarms, no notifications, just the sweet serenade of nature and history. The moon, now higher in the sky, casts a silver glow, illuminating the delicate tracery of branches against the darkened buildings. You feel a gentle wave of contentment, a peaceful acceptance of the present moment. It's a beautiful, quiet end to a truly immersive day. You are not just observing history. You are breathing it, feeling it, becoming one with its ancient rhythms. And you're definitely ready for a good night's sleep after all this profound relaxation. Continuing your slow, contemplative walk through the hushed Ottoman night, you pass by what appears to be a traditional caravanserai, now silent and dark, its grand arches and sturdy stone walls standing sentinel in the moonlight. Though empty of the bustling merchants and loaded camels that once filled its courtyard, you can almost hear the echoes of their conversations, the jingle of saddlebags, and the murmur of exotic languages from centuries past. The air here feels particularly ancient, carrying a subtle scent of dust and distant journeys. A mainstream historical fact is that caravanserai were vital roadside inns along trade routes, providing safe haven, lodging, and provisions for merchants and their animals, facilitating commerce and cultural exchange across vast distances. They were the original motels, but with much better architecture. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some caravanserai had resident entertainers or storytellers who would regale tired travelers with tales of distant lands and daring adventures, helping them pass the long evenings. Imagine a historical Netflix binge after a long day of camel riding. Historians still argue whether the primary purpose of caravanserai was purely economic, supporting trade and logistics, or if they also played a significant social role, fostering interaction between diverse cultures and serving as melting pots of ideas and information. Were they just inns or cultural exchange hubs? You pause at the large, silent entrance, peering into the dark, empty courtyard. The moonlight casts dramatic shadows, making the architectural details stand out in stark relief. You can almost feel the weight of history in this place, the countless journeys that began and ended within these walls. It's a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of the ancient world, how people and goods flowed across vast distances, often on foot or by animal power. You realize that your own journey today, from the cleansing of the hammam to the sights and sounds of the city, is a tiny echo of those grand historical expeditions. You're just doing it without the risk of bandits or running out of supplies. So, a significant improvement, really. The vastness of the empty courtyard seems to absorb all sound, creating a profound sense of stillness that is almost palpable. You feel a deep sense of peace, a quiet awe for the enduring legacy of human endeavor. It's a moment of reflection, a gentle contemplation of the passage of time and the continuity of human experience. You feel utterly safe and serene, completely enveloped by the quiet majesty of the Ottoman night. You're not just seeing an old building, you're touching the very pulse of ancient commerce and human connection. And after all that historical travel, even just in your imagination, you're definitely ready for some peaceful slumber. Continuing your solitary, serene walk through the depths of the Ottoman night, you find yourself on the outskirts of the residential area, where the faint glow of streetlights gives way to the more natural light of the moon and stars. The air here is noticeably cooler, carrying a subtle earthy scent of damp soil and ancient stone. You notice the deep, velvety blackness of the night sky, punctuated by countless stars that appear brighter and more numerous than you've ever seen them in the light-polluted modern world. It's a breathtaking display, a silent testament to the vastness of the cosmos. A mainstream historical fact is that in ancient times, before artificial light obscured the night sky, celestial navigation was a critical skill for travelers and sailors, guiding journeys across land and sea. They were basically human GPS systems, without the annoying voice telling you to turn left. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some Ottoman astronomers would conduct public stargazing sessions from the rooftops of madrasas or observatories, sharing their knowledge of the constellations and planetary movements with curious citizens. Imagine a historical star party, complete with philosophical discussions. Historians still argue whether the widespread interest in astronomy and celestial observation in the Ottoman Empire was primarily driven by practical needs for navigation and timekeeping, or if it also reflected a deeper spiritual and philosophical contemplation of the universe and humanity's place within it. Was it just science, or also a quest for meaning? You tilt your head back, gazing up at the shimmering expanse of the Milky Way, feeling a profound sense of awe and humility. The sheer scale of the universe puts all earthly worries into perspective, making them seem impossibly small and insignificant. It's a beautiful moment of cosmic connection, a reminder of the timelessness of the night sky. You realize that the clarity of your mind, a gift from the Hammam's deep cleansing, allows you to fully absorb this celestial spectacle, free from distraction or mental clutter. Your senses are finely tuned, capable of appreciating the subtle nuances of light and shadow, the vast silence broken only by the gentle whisper of the breeze. You feel incredibly peaceful, a tiny point of consciousness under an infinite sky. It's almost like you've achieved peak historical chill. And no, you won't be attempting any celestial navigation yourself tonight. You're far too relaxed for that kind of mental heavy lifting. The moon, a luminous disk in the dark sky, casts a soft, ethereal glow over the ancient city, transforming its familiar shapes into something mysterious and enchanting. You feel a deep sense of serenity, a perfect culmination to your day of historical immersion. This moment of stargazing is not just beautiful, it's deeply meditative, allowing your mind to expand and embrace the vastness of existence. You are ready to close your eyes and drift into dreams, carrying the image of the star-filled Ottoman sky with you. As the night air grows cooler and the stars continue to shimmer above, your path gently leads you towards a quiet residential area, where the sounds of the city have completely faded, replaced by the hushed stillness of slumbering homes. The only illumination comes from the moon, casting soft, silvery patterns on the cobblestone streets and the whitewashed walls of the houses. You feel a deep sense of calm pervading the atmosphere, a collective sigh of the city settling down for the night. A mainstream historical fact is that traditional Ottoman residential architecture often featured enclosed courtyards or gardens, providing private, tranquil spaces for families to relax and escape the summer heat. They were the original creators of indoor-outdoor living, with a lot more privacy. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some Ottoman families would leave small, fragrant offerings of dried flowers or sweet herbs by their doorways at night, believing it would bring good dreams or ward off negative spirits. Imagine a historical good luck charm hanging on every door. Historians still argue whether the emphasis on privacy and enclosed spaces in Ottoman residential architecture was primarily a practical response to climate and security needs, or if it also reflected deeper cultural values around family life, modesty, and the separation of public and private spheres. Was it just practical or a cultural statement? You pass by a particularly charming house, its windows darkened, suggesting its inhabitants are deep in peaceful sleep. You imagine the families within, gathered around a warm hearth, sharing stories, or simply resting after a long day. You feel a sense of shared humanity, a timeless connection to these unknown individuals, their daily lives a quiet echo of your own. It's a comforting thought, a reminder that despite the centuries that separate you, the fundamental rhythms of human existence remain constant. You realize that your profound relaxation from the hammam has made you exceptionally receptive to this quietude, allowing you to truly appreciate the subtle beauty of a sleeping city. You're not just an observer, you're almost a part of this peaceful tableau. And honestly, this is a lot more peaceful than trying to sleep next to a busy highway. No noisy neighbors, just the gentle whisper of history. The air is still and cool, carrying a faint, sweet scent of lingering evening blooms from unseen gardens. You feel an immense sense of peace settling over you, a quiet harmony with the world around you. Every breath is deep and even, a gentle sigh of contentment. You are completely unburdened, your mind clear, your body relaxed, your spirit serene. This is the ultimate winding down, a perfect conclusion to your immersive historical journey. You are not just ready for sleep. You are inviting it, welcoming its embrace with open arms, knowing that your dreams will be as peaceful and historically rich as your day. As you continue your silent journey through the slumbering residential streets of the Ottoman city, the air becomes infused with the gentle scent of dew forming on ancient stones, mingling with the subtle, earthy aroma of potted plants nestled in courtyards. The moon, now a brilliant orb high in the sky, casts a silver luminescence that makes the sleeping world appear almost otherworldly, a timeless tableau of quietude. You notice the subtle architectural details of the houses more acutely in this gentle light, the intricate patterns of the wooden window shutters, the delicate wrought iron work on the balconies, each element a testament to the artistry of a bygone era. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman residential buildings, especially those of the wealthy, often featured open-air courtyards and intricate gardens, designed not only for beauty, but also to provide cooling and a private oasis for families. They were the original proponents of beautiful outdoor living spaces, long before anyone thought of a backyard deck. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some of these private gardens would include small, hidden water features or wind chimes, specifically placed to create soothing, ambient sounds that would aid in relaxation and sleep. Imagine a historical white noise machine, but made of natural elements. Historians still argue whether the preference for enclosed private spaces in Ottoman residential design was primarily a functional adaptation to the climate and urban density, or if it also reflected a deeper cultural emphasis on family privacy and the separation of public and domestic life. Was it just practical, or a statement about private living? You pass by a particularly ornate wooden door, its heavy brass knocker glinting in the moonlight. You imagine the generations of families who have passed through this threshold, their lives unfolding within its walls, their dreams and worries contained within its quiet embrace. You feel a profound sense of connection to these unseen lives, a shared thread of humanity that transcends centuries. It's a powerful yet incredibly peaceful feeling, a deep understanding that the fundamental human experiences of home and family remain constant. You realize that the deep relaxation from the hammam has tuned your senses to this subtle level of appreciation, allowing you to truly feel the history embedded in these silent structures. You're not just seeing old buildings, you're sensing the echoes of lives lived, dreams dreamed, and rest taken. And honestly, after all this historical peace, your own bed is going to feel like the ultimate luxury. No noisy distractions, just pure, unadulterated rest. The only sounds are the gentle murmur of the night breeze and the distant, rhythmic chirping of crickets, a perfectly natural lullaby. You feel completely at ease, your mind clear and receptive, your body perfectly relaxed. This gentle stroll through the sleeping city feels like the ultimate winding down, preparing your consciousness for the profound peace of sleep. You are truly ready to drift off, carrying the quiet beauty of the Ottoman night into your dreams. As your journey through the hushed, moonlit Ottoman streets approaches its peaceful end, you find yourself near the city walls, where the ancient stone fortifications rise majestically against the star-dusted sky. The air here is even crisper, carrying a subtle scent of dry earth and the faintest hint of distant nature beyond the urban sprawl. The silence is almost absolute, broken only by the soft whisper of the night wind against the crenellated battlements. You notice the irregular patterns of the stars, their brilliance undimmed by any artificial light, painting a celestial tapestry overhead. A mainstream historical fact is that city walls were crucial for defense in the Ottoman Empire, protecting urban centers from invasions and providing a sense of security for their inhabitants. They were the original security systems, but far more aesthetically pleasing. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some sections of the city walls had small, hidden gardens or lookout points accessible to citizens, offering panoramic views of the surrounding landscape and the star-filled night sky. Imagine a historical rooftop bar, but with more history and less expensive drinks. Historians still argue whether the imposing nature of the city walls was primarily a practical military necessity, or if they also served a symbolic purpose, representing the power and invincibility of the Ottoman Empire. Was it just about protection, or also about projecting strength? You find a comfortable spot on a low, smooth stone, feeling the cool, ancient rock beneath your hand. You gaze out over the dark expanse beyond the walls, imagining the vast, wild landscapes that lay beyond the city's protective embrace. The contrast between the contained peace within the walls and the limitless mystery outside is profound. You feel a deep sense of serenity, a quiet understanding of boundaries and freedom, safety and exploration. It's a beautiful moment of cosmic reflection, a gentle contemplation of your place in the grand tapestry of time and space. You realize that the complete cleansing and relaxation from the hammam has prepared your mind for this level of deep, unhurried thought, allowing you to connect with these ancient concepts with profound clarity. Your entire being feels harmonized, a perfect balance of inner calm and outer awareness. And honestly, it's a far more impressive view than staring at a computer screen. No pixels, just pure starlight. The only sound is the gentle, steady beat of your own heart, a comforting rhythm in the vast stillness of the night. You feel utterly at peace, a quiet contentment that settles deep within your bones. This final, tranquil moment by the ancient city walls feels like the perfect capstone to your historical journey. A silent farewell to the Ottoman night, as you prepare to fully surrender to the embrace of sleep. You're not just ready for bed. You're prepared for dreams as vast and ancient as the stars above. As you sit by the ancient city walls, feeling the cool night air and gazing at the infinite stars, a deep sense of historical continuity settles over you. The centuries seem to melt away, and you feel a quiet, profound connection to all the souls who have stood here before you, gazing at the same celestial expanse, contemplating the same timeless mysteries. The air itself seems to carry the echoes of countless whispers, laughter, and sighs from generations long past. You notice the gentle rustle of dry leaves in a distant garden, a soft, papery sound that adds to the nocturnal symphony of quiet. A mainstream historical fact is that stargazing and understanding celestial patterns were integral to many ancient cultures, not just for navigation, but also for philosophical and religious contemplation, connecting humanity to the divine and the cosmic order. They really had their heads in the clouds, but in a good way. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some Ottoman scholars would hold clandestine gatherings near the city walls at night to discuss forbidden philosophies or share newly discovered scientific theories, using the cover of darkness for intellectual freedom. Imagine a historical secret society of knowledge seekers. Historians still argue whether the practice of nocturnal contemplation was primarily a practical response to the cooler night temperatures and fewer distractions, or if it reflected a deeper spiritual or intellectual inclination towards introspection and seeking wisdom under the veil of darkness. Was it just cooler, or was it about deep thinking? You close your eyes for a moment, and in the darkness, you can almost visualize the vibrant life of the Ottoman city, now sleeping peacefully around you. You recall the warmth of the hammam, the invigorating scrub, the refreshing tea, the bustling market, the serene mosque, and the delicious meal. Each memory is vivid, a rich tapestry woven from sensory experiences and historical understanding. You realize that this journey has not just been about learning facts, but about truly feeling the pulse of a bygone era. Your body, purified and relaxed, feels like an open vessel for these historical echoes. Your mind, cleared of modern clutter, is fully present to receive them. You're not just a passive observer, you are an active participant in this quiet, historical communion. And honestly, it's a lot more immersive than any virtual reality experience. This is the real deal, ancient and tangible. The soft hum of the universe seems to resonate deep within you, a gentle vibration that soothes your very soul. You feel utterly content, a deep sense of peace that permeates your entire being. This moment of historical immersion and cosmic contemplation is a perfect prelude to a night of profound, restorative sleep. You are ready to let go, to drift into dreams where the ancient and the infinite intertwine, carrying the quiet beauty of the Ottoman night into your deepest slumber. As the final moments of your Ottoman night walk gently draw to a close, you find yourself turning back towards the heart of the sleeping city. The distant glow of the few remaining lanterns a guiding beacon. The air is now remarkably still, a profound quietude settling over everything. Almost as if the entire city is holding its breath in slumber, you notice the delicate tracery of frost forming on some of the cool, exposed stones, a subtle sign of the coming dawn's chill, hinting at the cyclical nature of time. The sense of ancient history around you is palpable, a comforting presence that seems to wrap you in its timeless embrace. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman cities often experienced a stark contrast between their bustling daytime activity and their profound nighttime stillness, a testament to the lack of widespread artificial lighting and the natural rhythms of life. They really knew how to shut down and chill out. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some night watchmen in Ottoman cities would carry small, handheld musical instruments or sing soft, melodic calls to signal their presence and assure sleeping citizens of their safety. Imagine a historical security guard with a soothing serenade. Historians still argue whether the deep quiet of Ottoman nights was primarily a natural consequence of limited technology and urban design, or if it also fostered a unique psychological effect, encouraging deeper sleep and a greater connection to natural rhythms. Was it just dark, or a form of ancient sleep therapy? You feel your own footsteps becoming softer, more deliberate, almost unwilling to disturb the profound peace that surrounds you. Your mind is clear, unburdened by any lingering thoughts or worries, a direct result of the comprehensive cleansing and relaxation you experienced in the hammam. Every breath is deep and even, a gentle sigh of contentment. You are completely in tune with the rhythm of the ancient city, a quiet participant in its nocturnal slumber. You realize that this entire journey, from the invigorating bath to the tranquil night stroll, has been a beautiful, slow unraveling of stress and tension, a gradual return to a state of complete calm. It's a wonderful reminder that true peace can often be found in the simplest of rituals and the deepest of silences. And honestly, this is a lot more effective than counting sheep. You're counting historical moments, which is far more engaging. The subtle scent of damp earth and cool stone is all that lingers in the air, a natural, calming perfume. You feel a profound sense of gratitude for this experience, a deep appreciation for the enduring wisdom of ancient traditions. You are not just ready for sleep, you are inviting it, welcoming its embrace with open arms, knowing that your dreams will be as peaceful and historically rich as your day. The stillness of the Ottoman night feels like a personal lullaby, guiding you gently towards profound rest. As your incredible journey through the Ottoman night culminates, you find yourself standing at the threshold of a quiet, unassuming lodging, a historical guesthouse perhaps, where the gentle glow of a single lantern illuminates the entrance. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the last, faint whispers of the night before the first hints of dawn begin to paint the eastern sky. The silence is profound, a deep, comforting blanket that seems to absorb all sound, allowing for a complete sense of inner peace. You feel a subtle tiredness settling into your bones, a delicious fatigue born of a day, filled with sensory immersion and deep relaxation, rather than exhaustion. A mainstream historical fact is that Ottoman guesthouses and inns, distinct from caravanserai, provided more private and often more luxurious accommodations for travelers within city limits, offering comfort and respite after a long journey. They were the original boutique hotels, but with significantly more character. A quirky tidbit I've heard is that some guesthouses would have resident poets or musicians who would offer private performances to guests in their chambers, providing bespoke entertainment to ensure a truly relaxing evening. Imagine a historical room service offering a personal serenade. Historians still argue whether the emphasis on hospitality and comfort in Ottoman guesthouses was primarily a practical response to the needs of wary travelers, or if it also reflected a deeper cultural value placed on welcoming strangers and fostering a sense of community. Was it just a business or a tradition of generosity? You step inside, and the warmth of the small, quiet lobby envelops you, a welcome contrast to the cool night air. The simple furnishings, perhaps a low wooden table and a few cushions, speak of comfort and practicality. You feel a sense of belonging, a quiet acceptance in this space. You reflect on the entire day, from the transformative cleansing of the hammam, through the vibrant streets, the serene mosque, the delicious meal, and the tranquil night walk. Every moment has been a revelation, a profound journey into the heart of a bygone era. Your body feels completely relaxed, your mind utterly clear, and your spirit profoundly serene. You are fully prepared for a deep and restorative sleep, knowing that you have experienced something truly unique and deeply nourishing. And honestly, after a day like this, you're pretty sure you could sleep through an ancient cavalry charge. No problem. The gentle silence of the guesthouse feels like a final blessing, a quiet invitation to surrender to the embrace of slumber. You feel a deep sense of contentment, a quiet glow emanating from within. This has been more than just a historical tour. It has been a personal odyssey of peace and renewal. You are not just going to sleep. You are drifting into dreams filled with the gentle echoes of the Ottoman Empire, clean, calm, and utterly at peace. The softness of the bed and the stillness of the room are the final touches, guiding you effortlessly into the realm of sweet dreams. And now, as the last echoes of our journey through the peaceful Ottoman night fade into the silence, allow yourself to settle deeper into your own comfort. Feel the gentle warmth of your blankets, the soft support beneath your head, and let your breathing become slow and even, each inhale a quiet breath of calm, each exhale a release of any lingering tension. Imagine a soft, comforting mist like the gentle steam of the hammam, enveloping you, easing every muscle, smoothing every thought. The distant murmur of ancient cities, the whisper of the night breeze through historic streets, all melt into a peaceful hum, a lullaby woven from centuries of quietude. Your mind is clear, your body is relaxed, and your spirit is utterly serene. Let your thoughts drift like clouds across a vast, empty sky, dissolving into the gentle vastness. There is only peace, only stillness, only the quiet drift towards a deep and restorative sleep. Allow yourself to surrender to this profound tranquility, knowing that you are safe, you are warm, and you are utterly at peace.